up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the Air Jordan 1 Union Fragment collaboration, starting with the box, which is an overall black matted box, and the Nike brand that comes in a high gloss black pinstripe design. Then taking a look at the sizing tag, it reads Air Jordan 1 RTR High OGSP, and the colorway is black, white, varsity red, and we were able to pick this up in my size 12 off the Union raffle. And taking a look underneath the lid of the box, you do have a stamp code. And the shoes do come with your Air Jordan 1 Union Fragment collaborative paper, which is a light blue to teal colorway. And the shoes do come individually wrapped. And for legit checking purposes, it does have your green YCM sticker, as well as this compass style print design. And here you have it, guys. The Air Jordan 1 Varsity Red Union Fragment. That'll give you a quick 360 of the shoe, and we'll jump into the details of it. Starting with the lateral side of the shoe. Here's a look at the medial side of the shoe. And we have an overhead shot of the toe box, moving into the toe. And here's a rear shot of the shoe. Last but not least, here's a look at the outsole. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and jump into this video. As I stated early in the beginning, I was able to get a win on the Union raffle, and this shoe delivered this past Tuesday. So I'm pretty sure most Union raffle winners already have their pair in hand, and there's tons of videos already out on the shoe. So my purpose for this video is to give all the current sneakers app and raffle winners an up close and personal look at the overall execution of this shoe. So let's go ahead and jump into it, starting from the top to the bottom. And that is starting with the sock liner, which comes in your traditional black mesh sock liner. And jumping into the ankle collar section, you have this very hairy suede, very nice and soft to the touch, feels of quality. Moving into your upper ankle strap area, you have that varsity red, which oversized Air wings. And I must say, the leather is very nice and supple and soft. Cushioning within the sock liner is very nice and responsive. Love the bounce back on it. And moving down, you have your traditional Union LA tag, as well as their cross-hatching stitching that runs into the rear cup section of the shoe. And moving into the mid panel of the shoe, very nicely tumbled, and the leather has a nice and supple feel to it as well. And moving into the black leather panels of the shoe, it as well is very nice and tumbled. I must say, the overall leather panels on this shoe, it feels of decent quality, very nice to the touch. And if I had to pick on the materials used, I would say the upper ankle collar leather feels the best. And that could be a mixture between the cushioning that's in the sock liner that gives me that overall plush feel to the leather versus the other panels. But overall, I think the leather used on it is decent quality. And jumping into the heel counter of the shoe, you have that classic Fragment logo that's embossed into the shoe. Give you a closer look at that. As you can see the indentation of that embossed Fragment logo. And there was a pair that supposedly released from Union that the Fragment logo wasn't pressed in, it was just like painted on. So please be sure to check your pair once you get them in hand to make sure your Fragment logo is embossed into the heel counter. And before we jump into the midsole, I want to give you a shot at that classic Union yellow that's on the exposed cuts of the leather on a Nike swoosh, as well as the forefoot strap and eyelet section that runs throughout the mud guard, and as well as the heel counter of the shoe. And jumping into the midsole, it does come in that cream aged look, and I think that is a nice contrast again to those yellow hits on the cuts of leather. I think it contrasts well with the midsole. And I will say, it could be my studio lights, but I think the mid panel cuts as well as the toe box comes in as a slight cream white. It's not a pure white, but a slightly cream texture to it in my opinion. So I think that flows well with this aged midsole. But taking a closer look, you do have that tooling code that's very well known with the Fragment design. It does have Chris, which I'm thinking Chris is for Chris Gibbs at Union. It also has Hiroshi, which is probably main guy at Fragment. Here's a quick shot at the medial side of the shoe. Really love the oversized Nike swoosh. I just kind of wish that the lateral side Nike swoosh fell just slightly lower. It just kind of looks like the old Air Jordan 1 retro highs. It came in with a higher Nike swoosh, which Nike and Jordan brand upgraded later to a 2.0 version. They dropped the Nike swoosh lower. On this shoe, it kind of looks like they went back to the old retro style versus the newer 2.0 version. I could be looking at it wrong, but it just looks slightly higher. I wish they would have used the 2.0 version in this shoe if they didn't. But here's a quick look at the toe box shape on the medial side. And give you a closer look at the leather texture on the shoe. Again, as I stated, majority of the shoe, it comes in as like a medium tumble texture to it. I would say it's decent leather on this shoe, nothing too major to the touch, but overall it's okay. And jumping into the tongue, you have the Nike Air branding up top, as well as your traditional Union exposed foam tongue. So just looking at this shoe, I was wondering to myself, so what parts did Fragment actually play in this shoe? Because it seems to me the Union has more input to the shoe. So let's go ahead and count them off. So Union used their exposed foam tongue. They also used their oversized Air Wings logo, as well as dyeing the exposed leather cuts that Union yellow. So what's that, 3, 4, you have the Union logo, 5, you have the crosshatch stitching, and you probably could even throw in the Harry Suede on the ankle collar. So what's that, 6? So all I'm seeing for the Fragment is the tooling code that's on the midsole and the Fragment logo that's on the heel counter. So we can just throw the mid and outsole as one. I think that is all that Fragment comes through, other than the Fragment blue colorway on the heel counter. So if I counted correctly, Union 6, Fragment 3. Okay, Fragment, I'm gonna need y'all to step up, step up just a little bit more. But nah, for real, I think it's a dope collaborations. Love the contrast between the Varsity red and that Fragment blue, and the use of the black toe silhouette. I think it's a thing of beauty to see in hand. So let's go ahead and jump into my right shoe and take a look at the overall quality on that shoe. All right, guys, so here's my right shoe. Again, as I stated, basically the whole upper of the shoe is in that medium tumbled leather texture, with the ankle collar being the most plush in my opinion. But I would say the side panels on this shoe, it feels a lot softer versus the other one. And I could just be overthinking it, but this one, it feels a lot softer and plusher versus the other shoe. Let's go ahead and take a look at that lateral side toe box shape. Very nice shape to it. I'm pretty pleased with my pair because I did see some pictures online that the toe box was kind of chunky in the front, and I wasn't really feeling that. So, and I would say this pair, it came in just under that at a nicer, sleeker shape, which I prefer the shape of. And here's a look at the Fragment logo on the right shoe. Again, guys, when you get your shoes in hand, just make sure your Fragment logo is embossed into there. Really love the ankle collar area. Very nice and soft Harry Suede up top. Jumping into the medial side of the shoe. Very nice. And this shoe does come with a few extra laces. Let's take a look at them. So my left shoe had the yellow laces inside, and the black and Varsity red came in my right shoe. That's probably subject to how they came packaged. So I wouldn't say that's something to look at when trying to QC these shoes. But I did want to state how they came. You do have that Union yellow, and you have your all blacks, and as well as the Varsity red. And without opening these boxes, because I hate to make a mess, I will say that these Varsity red laces, I think it's a split tone shoelace. As you can see up top at the eyelid section, it's black, so it is a split between Varsity red and black lace, as well as what comes laced in the shoes, your all white, and that splits into your black laces up top. And I do think the split lace option is a nice choice. And I would say pretty much all the lace options do look okay when laced up. But I think I'm probably going to stick with the all black laces, if not those all white lace options for sure. Let me know in the comments which lace option you will go for. Do you stick with the traditional Union yellow? I think that's a dope look as well in the shoe. But something about that yellow laces that goes with the red, you know what I'm going to say, that Ronald McDonald look. But yeah, I'm probably going to stick with all white or all black laces. Let's go ahead and dive into the shoe. It does come with a thick paper shoe tree. And here's a look at the insoles. It does come with that exploded view and details of the shoe. You have your shoe laces. It has that exposed tongue. Just kind of like the schematics of the shoe. I really love when Nike and Jordan brand, they actually prints the design on the insoles versus like a sticker that's gonna wear away. These insoles shouldn't have any issues with that. And guys, that is the Air Jordan 1 Varsity Red Union Frag. Just wanted to come through and give you guys an up close and personal look at what you got coming. And I really do think you will be satisfied with your pair, because I'm completely satisfied with the pair I received. Overall, nice execution from Jordan brand, Union, and Fragment. And out of the three that released, between this Varsity Red, you had the black and white, as well as the royal blue. I personally like this Varsity Red the best out of the three. For me, the royal blue, the white on the ankle collar area kind of threw it off for me, as well as the black and white pair. I have a black and white pair of high 85s that look somewhat similar versus not having the black on the toe box. But those two pairs was the limited additions to this drop. But for me, it's this Varsity Red. But real quick, shout out to Union, man. This is my second Union raffle win. I was able to pick up the Union Chicago Shadows last year, and I very well might do a comparison video between the Shadow Chicago's versus these Varsity Reds, just to get a look at them together. So if you might be interested in seeing that video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, stay tuned to the channel, and please feel free to run the likes up and motivate me to go ahead and start working on that content. But yeah, guys, overall, very well executed shoe, dope collaboration. Looks excellent in hand, so you guys gonna enjoy getting those shoes here shortly. And I'm completely satisfied with the shoe. If I had any small gripes to it, I think with it being a three-way collaboration, I think the leather panels could, been a little bit more on a softer quality feel to it. This one, it feels okay, as I stated, but you can feel the overlay texture to it. They probably will break in decently and give me the feel that I'm really looking for, but I think they probably could just surprise all the consumers just a little bit more with this three-way collaboration. Just go ahead and throw the gamut at it, Nike. Throw us some of that elusive shadow backboard OG leather. But guys, that's what I have for you today. Stay tuned to the channel. More content on the way. And you already know I appreciate y'all as always. Until the next time, peace.